Alright, so this is going to be video one in hopefully a few video series on how to kind of build your own server and how to kind of get started with Minecraft. And this is going to be an all-inclusive video. This is going to be primarily a video on hardware and kind of talking about the points that I took in when I was building my first server. Now, the server that I'm building, or that I built this for, is Vapidflats. You can always find us at www.vapidflats.com. And so I did want to clarify that these videos are going to be for people that want to buy a server, not rent a server. My videos are going to be talking about co-location services. So this video is like talking about buying the server. Then we're going to talk about what you need to look for installing a server into a co-location. I will be doing a local co-location. I'll probably get some video of what my server looks like once it's been mounted and everything, some things to take into account there. So yeah, unfortunately this video isn't really, very realistic for somebody that doesn't have a job, unless, to be perfectly honest, I bet you a lot of you guys can convince your parents to allow you to go down this road. Yeah, it's probably a few grand to really do this properly, but you learn so much. This is, to me, better than school. You're actually doing the projects. You're hands-on working with the information, and I think that's the best way to personally learn something. So anyways, we'll get started. So when I was starting out, and I had just kind of learned about it, what a co-location was and kind of the benefits to it, I decided, okay, that seemed like the route I wanted to go. Now, you can build a server for really pretty reasonable prices, and there's a few ways to go about it. You can get a server that looks like your own your home computer, which we should be able to find an example. Newegg usually pops us up first, except for now. These servers, which are just like PCs, and they're just kind of built a little different. But if you're going to be mounting this in a co-location, like if you're not going to actually run it at your house and you want to run it at a co-location, well, you really, really want to get a rack mount server. So that would be my tip. You can go either way, but rack mount just makes your life a lot easier. Installing and actually, servicing it when you have to go to the co-location and do maintenance and that sort of thing. So, personally, I go with the server bare bones. Usually you can find bare bones servers all over, and they're much more reasonable because they don't have, like, the CPU's not included. So there's a lot of things that you don't have out of the gate. But, you can usually get them for pretty reasonable prices. Of course, reasonable is relative, I suppose. I believe, let's see if I can find the server I bought. This looks like it. I'm pretty sure this is it. So this is the rack mount server that I got, and it works beautifully. It has 6 bays for hard drives. You do have to get a special CD-ROM. Let's see if I can open up this picture. Come on, open. There we go. There's a special CD-ROM that you would need to buy if you want to use a CD-ROM, but I honestly just hooked up the cable. I kind of, booted up my home computer, booted up the server, and installed Linux that way. You could also, I believe there are some USB ports on the back, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you got 2 USB ports here on the back, so I think you can install Linux through that method or through the network. There's a lot of different ways to install things in there. But I like the server because it does have these half PCI slots, which are great. A lot of the PCI Express solid state memory and things like that can be installed via those slots over here, which looks like you may only be able to do a few, but I don't have the details of exactly what's included in here. But it's the reason we're getting this. It's got the swappable fans. If one of the fans dies, you can just go in there and swap it out. Any good bare bones rack mount server is going to have that. It already has the power supply, motherboard, and that sort of thing. So all you need to do is buy your CPU, get your RAM, and obviously get the hard drives that you want to throw in here. So talking a little bit about Minecraft and its hard drives. Minecraft hard drives, you're definitely going to want solid state. If at all possible, definitely get your solid state hard drives. So real quick recap, solid state hard drives have no moving parts. Their read writes are just huge levels above what a standard hard disk drive with, you know, the platter and actual mechanical moving parts would be able to give you. I mean, a 72K or 7200 RPM hard drive, the old school hard disk drive, will get you probably 100 or 150, maybe 120, what's called IOPS. Right here, you see IOPS, and that's a unit of measure to kind of see how many. It kind of tells you the speed of the hard drive, and 100 is not very fast. Let's just open up this first solid state drive, the Vertex Series 3. We'll pull up the details of this guy, and let's see what we got here. Where's my IOPS? No, that's max IOPS. Here we are. So random write. You got 75,000, 35,000 for read. So, I mean, this is a pretty dang fast drive. Like I said before, even a SAS hard drive, SAS hard drive, that's, you know, 1,500 RPM, or 15,000 RPM, sorry, you're only going to get about 200 IOPS. So, yeah, get a solid state. I mean, they're a little bit more money, but if you're really wanting to run a good server, you know, it's kind of the way to go. And this one's like, what's 120 gigabytes. So to really run a Minecraft server, SMP server, you know, 120 gigabytes is probably a good thing. I would probably try to stay up there. That gives you plenty of room to put a website on your server. You're going to be able to run all your databases and run your maps. Now, I would definitely suggest you do a minimum of what's called RAID 1. And I'll just pull it up here. Whoops, 1. I didn't mean to do 10. I was doing searches for RAID 10. So a RAID 1 is a fairly common RAID system. And if you look over here on the right-hand side, I'll pull this picture up. RAID 1 basically duplicates your information. You see A1234, 1234 on 2 different disks. And so that means that when this disk dies and it doesn't work anymore, you can actually swap out that disk without losing any of your data. That's the one downside of, you know, solid state drives is, you know, they do die. They don't last as long as the platter drives. There's just, you know, that's a disadvantage that they have right now. So you're going to have to buy 2. I would suggest you definitely buy 2 drives. Make sure they're the same size, same model drives, because if you don't, you know, you're not going to be able to, you're going to just rely on that one drive. And if it dies, it's kind of a pain in the butt. Your operating system's on there. And I know you could do a backup drive. Like I have 2 solid state drives, and I'm going to eat my own words here. Those drives are running in RAID 0. And RAID 0, which is just up here, RAID 0 is you can see that it spreads out the information across both drives. And it allows you to, you know, read-write operations are a little bit faster, and you definitely get more speed out of your connectivity and everything. But you know, if it dies, if one of those drives dies, I lost both drives. So what I'm in the process of doing for my new server, and I kind of stated this in my first video, is we're going to RAID 10. And so RAID 10 is kind of an easy way to say RAID 1 plus 0, I think is what, yeah, RAID 1 plus 0. Basically it is a way of spreading out the data across 4 hard drives. So you get the speed advantage, and you also get the data backup ability. So you get the high speed IHOPS there, and you also have the ability to pull out a drive and replace it if you need to. So anyways, as far as RAM is concerned, RAM, it is not as important as people like to think. The one benefit of going with RAM or having a lot of RAM, 24 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes, or even higher, depending on what operating system you're running, you can run a RAM disk. And I know that a lot of people are going to, post on the comments, it's like, what's better, solid state drive or a RAM disk? Now, if you're running a professional server, something or at least a beginner server like I posted here, I showed you the bare bones server, you can get away with running a RAM disk. My server ran for 3 months straight, no issues or whatever, and as long as you're doing backup to an actual hard disk at some point, it's a pretty safe way to go. And I don't know the exact IOPS comparison for the solid state, to RAM disk. I do know RAM disk is faster, and it's great. But the thing about RAM is when that power goes out, if you lose power and you don't have like a battery backup, everything that's in that RAM disk dies. You also have a higher chance, a higher probability of actually having corrupt data when you're using a RAM disk. And, that's not going to be what we cover in my videos. I'm not going to go over RAM disks. There's just, it's not really a point for me because I've been down that road and I don't prefer it. There's a lot of people running Minecraft servers with RAM disks. It's not a bad way to go, just not the way I'm going to be going with my server. So this is part one, just kind of giving you a basic idea what to look for. Let's go ahead and actually I do want to, I'm going to show you guys the hosting company that I go through. Oops, wrong site. Well, this is our website for my server, but anyways, so this is the Collocation company that I'm actually going through right now. It's a local company for me. They're just right outside where I live, in Bothell, Washington, kind of Seattle, Washington in the USA. So they're local. I wanted to pick a colocation service that is close to me so that, being that it's my first server, I can make a mistake and not have to worry about it being halfway across the US. So I'll try kind of, go over their pricing and everything. For a 2U rack server, you're probably looking around $70 a month. For me, because I know exactly how many gigabytes I'm probably going to be transferring a month based on how many users I have on my server, I was able to get it down to $50 a month. So you can get good deals, and I gotta say, $50 a month is the same price you're going to pay for a really decent, server with some other host. The one benefit is you own the hardware, you own everything. I don't have to pay separately for hosting on a website or anything like that. This is a much less expensive way to go. And if I was to go and find hardware, like let's go to dedicated server here. And this is definitely not the prices for everybody. But look at this, quad-core Xenon, which Xenon is definitely more of a professional processor. It's a server processor. I run an i7 processor at 3.8 megahertz with 4 cores, and I have 24 gigabytes of RAM, and I have 2 solid-state drives with a 1 terabyte backup hard disk drive. I run Ubuntu 1010 Maverick Meerkat, and I pay $50 a month. This is $299 a month, and I'm just saying. Seems like this is a little bit more expensive to go down this road to actually rent out an actual server. So, you guys can make your own decisions. I'm going to close off this video right now. We're going to talk a little bit more about actually installing the server, what my server looked like, and the Linux installation here in a second. So, thanks for watching, and go ahead and check us out, www.vapidflats.com.